To me, food is everything. It is joy, it is community, it is love, it is everything. Can you tell I'm a Taurus? Well, I'm going to share my entire journey with food because it always hasn't been a positive one. I'm Juli Bauer Roth, the food, fitness, and lifestyle blogger behind PaleOMG. Welcome to my channel. I'm here to share my favorite food, workout, and wellness tips to help you live your best damn life. And today I wanted to chat about my relationship with food because I think so many people have gone through similar experiences with food. We've gone through ups and downs with it. We continue to go through it, especially here in North America. The more I'm reading different books, like right now I'm reading different books about French tradition with raising children and with eating, the more I understand that Americans or North Americans have it a little funny when it comes to food. We don't have a great relationship with food. We don't have a great understanding about our food. So I wanted to share my own experience because I'm trying to continually grow and get better and better with my relationship with food and spread that understanding about food and love and excitement and joy all around food to my daughter. I really want her to know how to cook. I want her to know why certain foods give us a ton of energy and why we should enjoy every bite. Oh, I want her to know all that. But maybe that's just the Taurus in me who is obsessed with food. And yeah, I'm obsessed with food. I love food. And I have a husband who is absolutely not obsessed with food. So I now understand that not all people are like me, but I figured that out from an early age, actually. So when I look back, I thought just everybody loved food as much as I did. I thought that was the norm. I thought you thought about food all day long. Doesn't everybody do that? I thought you romanticize it. No, I didn't figure that out until my teenage years when I was talking to my best friend about what we were going to have for dinner when we were eating breakfast. And she was like, "Why are you so obsessed with food?" And I always thought she was like me. I was like, "Wait, what?" She's like, "All you think about and talk about is food." We're not really friends anymore, but she was right. She was very right. And I have always thought about it. It's always been on my mind. And I made a whole career out of it. My whole business started with recipes, with cooking, with experiencing food and sharing that with others. But I didn't always have a good, healthy, happy relationship with food. It was a very tangled web around dieting and restricting and binging and telling myself I couldn't have something. It was just, it was not so fun, but it was a big learning experience. So when I started thinking back of where my issues with food started, it really started from a pretty early age because I had stomach issues all the time. I constantly had stomach aches. I had constipation. I had all kinds of different things that were going on, and my stomach would hurt so bad that I would cry my eyes out. My dad would take me to the emergency room because I felt so uncomfortable. They would run all these tests, have no answers for us, and then give us saline, give me antibiotics, and then send me on my way. Well, times were very different back then. They weren't asking, well, what food are you eating? I wish they would have known about that. Hopefully they do that now. But they weren't asking, okay, what food are you eating that could be causing this? They were just looking for big, huge medical reasons that could be causing this, but it was simply my food, and I didn't understand that. So I went through school, especially high school, having a stomachache at all times. I never felt good. I always felt sick, but I just thought everybody felt that way. I just thought that was the complete norm. So I had no idea of what it was like to feel good. I had no concept of that. I also had no concept of what healthy food, what nutrient dense food looked like. I was not taught that. I was not taught how to cook. I had two working parents, and so cooking and creating food from scratch was just not part of our lifestyle. It just didn't work. And then I became a very picky eater really early on because I wasn't introduced to a ton of different foods, but I had no concept of having an apple versus having an oatmeal cream pie. And I ate a lot of oatmeal cream pies. And to me, why would I eat an apple when I have the choice of an oatmeal cream pie? But food not only became this thing that was making me sick all the time, even though I didn't know it, but it also became my emotional support. I was a very insecure teenager, really uncomfortable in my skin. I didn't have many friends, and I really just turned to food for comfort. I would come home from school every day and make myself chocolate chip pancakes from the Bisquick mix. Like, what a good day. But then I would go about the rest of my day feeling like crap. We'd go to the mall, grab a Cinnabon, feel like crap. It was just never ending cycle. And I noticed when I was in high school, at one point I thought to myself, I don't even know what it's like to be hungry. Like, I was shoveling my face with so much food just as a coping mechanism, as a comfort mechanism. I didn't even have any of those actual moments where I had hunger cues playing into my day. I would just eat and eat and eat, and I was gaining weight. I remember I ripped like 6 pair of jeans in a week. My weight started to increase. You know, your body starts to change as you're going through puberty in different ways and aging a little bit more. And this was when dieting began. I was in high school. I remember having my planner. I had my planner out on my desk. And what did I use my planner for? Counting calories. And I was like, okay, how can I get under 500 calories a day? Because then I'll go to the gym and be on the elliptical. And you know, you watch the elliptical calories, even though those aren't correct, and you think you're burning off all these calories. And so I was like, how can I get it so I'm only eating 500 calories a day to make sure I'm burning off all these other calories? Because, you know, I would read these fitness magazines, and that's how I found out how to do that. And it was like, don't chew gum and all these other rules that were just crazy, but made so much sense to me at the time. And so I started trying to be really restrictive. But restrictive for me and my personality, and I think most people, is the more I restricted, the more I binged later on. So I could restrict for a good amount of time, but then the binging came. So maybe I would restrict myself through the week, and then I'd get to Sunday and it was like, okay, Cinnabons here. Chugging those down. Let's get a slushie. Let's get a Snickers bar. Let's get some cookies. And it just became this vicious cycle. And these behaviors continued on into college, especially freshman year. I was really insecure. I didn't know anybody. I was not sure how to make friends. I was just very nervous. And so I turned to food a lot. And then I would restrict, and then I would binge, and it was just a constant circle. So fast forward into college, I find out about CrossFit, and I start doing CrossFit on my own. I start teaching myself how to work out, really how to do push-ups on my knees, pull-ups on the pull-up assisted machine, that sort of thing. And I had a boyfriend at the time who did CrossFit and who ate really well, and he introduced me to the Zone diet. And back then, CrossFit had a Zone diet breakdown on their website. So went to CrossFit.com, download the PDFs, and I start tracking my Zone blocks. And blocks are kind of like what Weight Watchers is with points. So you're just tracking your food. That's all it is at the end of the day. Like one block, I think, was 3 almonds. So you're gonna have a block of almonds or whatever it is. I forget all that stuff. But you're just pretty much tracking the amount of food you're eating without marking down exactly how many calories are in that. But it really is just teaching you portion control, which I had never learned. I had never understood that I didn't need to eat an entire box of Oreos. I could just eat a couple. That never comprehended in my head. I mean, even now I have a hard time with that. Like, why would I eat less when I can eat more? Like, food's the best. But Zone really taught me that portion control and gave me an understanding of food. And quickly I began to feel better because I was looking at my food. Instead of having a sandwich with all these different things on it, I would have an open-faced tuna sandwich and cutting out some of the grains and adding in different fruits and vegetables that I had never eaten and I had never cooked before. Like, I really had never cooked until college. And then Zone introduced me to paleo diet, and the paleo diet changed everything for me. It introduced me to what real food was. And I had Lauren Cordain, who wrote the paleo diet book, as a professor at school. And so I was able to learn about the paleo diet right there firsthand and then read about it in the book as well. And it made so much sense to me. Why are we eating all of these packaged foods when we should be eating foods that we were created to eat? Eating fruits and vegetables, nuts and seeds, meats, eating these basic food groups, you know, when you go around the outside of the grocery store, the foods that we should be consuming. And it made so much sense to me. And so I started eating paleo immediately. I mean, immediately, all my stomach issues went away. Gone. Done. No more. Digestion. Boom. I was pooping like a champ, like a champion. And no more stomach issues. I was like, wait, is this how people feel all the time? Do people actually feel good? Because my concept of good was not good. I felt amazing. So I started eating paleo all the time. It is quite enjoyable. Whoa, like temperature change with this lighting. That feels nice. But I start eating paleo. I feel so good. But of course, my obsession comes in. And I think this is really the social norms we've been taught, especially here in North America, based on what I've been reading and from other countries, is we always have to go to extremes with everything. And instead of just eating foods, well, I had to go to an extreme. I had to start obsessing. And that's when I started obsessing about foods. I got scared to eat anything that was outside of paleo. I would say no. I stopped going out with friends. I was super poor at the time, so that was totally fine. But I stopped going out with friends. I wouldn't eat anything that wasn't paleo. I absolutely would never eat a grain, gluten-free or not. Let's stayed away from that. And I thought I was doing the best thing. That new obsession came in and I was like, well, this is what you do. You get obsessed with something and then you just follow it. You stay in your box and that's it. Period. Things are in black or white, you know? That's it. That was terrible. So my goal to become healthier and the experience of becoming healthier then became an obsession. So silly. Like, why do we get so obsessed? And it all came down to physique. I wanted to get skinnier. I wanted to have no cellulite. I wanted to lose fat here, lose fat there, get stronger in the gym. It was just constant obsession instead of just simply living life and enjoying and working out because it makes me feel good and eating good food because it brings joy to my life. It became just this pure obsession day in and day out. And then it wasn't until I had this kind of epiphany, and it was during my CrossFit time where I was competing and I was working out all the time, and I looked at myself in the mirror and I didn't recognize myself. I didn't feel good. I didn't look good. I was like, what am I doing? I'm obsessing about my food. I'm obsessing about my workouts, and it's not getting me anywhere I want to be. So I stopped doing all of that. I stopped competing. I stopped working out that hard, working out multiple times a day. I stopped obsessing about my food. I started eating gluten-free, like things like rice and gluten-free products out there. I stopped obsessing about paleo. And guess what? I felt amazing. I didn't have stomach issues. I wasn't obsessed anymore. I was going out with my friends. I was enjoying life. I wasn't thinking, okay, does that fit exactly how I need it to fit? Asking for all these crazy changes with the menu. I was just living life. And then I felt better. I looked better. I just enjoyed life way more than I had before. It was this huge epiphany that I had. And that was probably back in 2017 or so. And things have stayed pretty even keel since then. I go through different phases in life. So right now I'm in a phase where I really want to gain muscle and increase my testosterone because it's pretty low after pregnancy and birth. And so I'm eating high protein. So I'm tracking my food to make sure I'm hitting those protein levels every day, but I'm not obsessing like I have in the past. I'm like, okay, today I don't want to track. I just don't want to. That's fine. It's just not going to bug me like it has in the past. And then when these negative thoughts come in around food or around how I'm feeding myself or indulging here or wherever it is, I can really reframe my brain to remember that life is full of so many cool moments, especially around food. Like I just went to Cabo where we went to Sunset Mona Lisa for the first time. The most stunning views and amazing food, and it was a 5-course dinner. You don't get to pick your food. It's a chef's set menu, and there's all kinds of things on there like pasta and a creme brulee, and I am enjoying every single minute of it. And I might have these thoughts come in like, okay, you're eating a little bit too much. And I say, no, this is such a beautiful moment that I will never get back. My daughter is 5 months old here. She's sitting with us at this beautiful restaurant, a beautiful experience, wrapped up in these blankets on this amazing patio. And I'm going to start thinking about food. Like, no. And I have to shut those thoughts down. And so it takes work of remembering that I've been conditioned to feel this way based on our society and based on the messages I've created in my own head and seen with my peers and social media, all those things. And I have to break those down. I don't have to fall into those feelings. I can step away from them. Even this morning, I was in the gym and I had a hard day yesterday where I was just thinking a couple negative thoughts. And today I was in the gym and I was like, you are amazing. Okay. You're amazing. And then I eat these nutrient dense foods and I'm thinking about how I can try some French cuisine because that's really on my mind, and how I can add in foods to my daughter's diet. And my biggest concern now is not physique. It's not perfection with food. It is simply enjoying food, showing my daughter how to cook, and putting those amazing habits in place so she can go on to know how to cook food for herself, whether that's fruit, that's vegetables, that's meat. There's fat mixed in there, and she can make this beautiful meal to nourish herself. That is my biggest concern. Nourishing myself, nourishing her, and feeling good and not obsessing, and enjoying meals out and enjoying meals at home, and having this beautiful balance that is just simply food equals joy. That's what I want. I want her to understand that. I want my friends to understand that. I want anybody who follows me on social media to understand that food is so much joy. And yes, we may go through different phases to help us get there, but the quicker we can get there, the more enjoyable life is going to be. It's going to be so much more enjoyable instead of obsessing. I wish I could have understood this as a younger person, but the less we obsess, the more our body can thrive. Our body wasn't put here to be obsessive. Our bodies were put here to live life to the fullest. And that's going to be full of hardships and ups and downs, but we were put here to enjoy things. And food is one of those huge things. It brings people together. It's what we do every single day. We have to eat every single day. And if we don't have joy in that, man, that's a lot of lost time. It's a lot of lost happiness. That's easier for me to say because I'm a Taurus, but food's the greatest. And I wish I would have always had a really happy relationship with food, but it took me a while to get there, and I'm glad I did. But man, food's fantastic. I hope you think so too. Share your own food journey. Share it with your friends. Share it here in the comment section below. I want to hear from you. Have you been to Sunset Mona Lisa in Cabo? It's fantastic. The best pasta I've ever had. I haven't had a ton of pasta, okay? Let me be clear with that. But I thought the pasta was fantastic, so you should try it too. But thanks for listening. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe, and stay tuned because I have a few more videos I think you're gonna like.